today we're covering Find Your Business. A little bit about me first, let me just do that. My name's Adam Charlesworth. I used to be here actually at this brokerage, briefly the broker of record, and then I ran away screaming. These guys are a pain in the ass. I've been a realtor for more than 10 years. I started off as an admin assistant, I did buyer's agent, and then I went on my own. When I was in a team at the start, it was a very active and busy team. We sort of, 40 plus transactions a year. I saw a lot of action, which was great. You learn a lot. Because if you're new, everyone always tells you, every deal is different. Well, pretty much every deal is different. However, there's a certain universality to some things, but in general, the more transactions you're exposed to, the more experience you get, the easier you have a time negotiating those bumps in the road that come along. So that's me. I left KW briefly and went to EXP for 7 of the worst months of my life. And then I went back to a slightly different Keller Williams brokerage. I'm up at Yonge Street on Portfolio. So that's me. Any questions about that? So today we're doing Find Your Business. Prospecting, lead generating, using multiple methods, connecting with potential clients, obtaining referrals. Probably, here we go. The sort of thing that we all have to do to be realtors. Oh, I'm going to ask a few questions. Who's brand new? Jillian, you're brand new?
Brand new.
Brand new? Anyone else? Brand new, brand new?
What's brand new?
Less than a year. Okay. Is anyone not with, I know Sylvana, you're not with Keller Williams. Is anyone else not with Keller Williams? Okay, great. Training is open for all. I have to skip ahead through all that 10-4 stuff. Remodeling calling. Handwritten notes. I know because this is the section I'm going to talk about briefly. It is stupid how many sales I've done thanks to handwritten notes. Like if I was a smart man, I'd just sit at home and write handwritten notes all day because it's ridiculous how effective they are. And so when people finish those calls and it says do handwritten notes, it's really a shockingly good idea. And I'll tell you why. And I learned this from Brian DeFeedy. Anything that's smart that comes out of my mouth is normally because I listen to someone else. A handwritten note is 100% guaranteed to be read. You send an email, maybe not. You drop off a flyer, that's going to be odds that that's going to work. You make a phone call, leave a voicemail, leave a message. A handwritten note with a stamp on it that comes to someone's house, it's not a bill. No one's afraid of opening that. No one's afraid it's going to be like a summons or a CRA notice or anything like that. It's a guaranteed 100% message delivery system that costs you less than $1. And then when it arrives, what it also says is for the entire time that someone's reading the note, they know that they were thinking about you. They weren't thinking about anyone else. You were saying, hey, thanks for taking my call. Nice, happy birthday. It shows that you're for that moment, whatever you have to say means that you were thinking about them and they know it. And they will answer, they will see that note, they will open it up and they will get that message. And it's an amazing thing that we don't do enough of. And every year I write about 10, so don't listen to me in that way. But every year from those 10 notes, I swear to God, I would do 2 or 3 sales. So if I was smart, I would just write notes all day long. I just need to find people to write them to. So when it says right hand, who's writing notes? David?
For one, because I listen to you.
Okay. So please, it's like unbelievably cost effective and a guarantee that your message gets through to someone in a way that everyone has erected these electronic moats around themselves, right? Do not call list, no junk mail, no soliciting. You're just trying to get through to someone. They're not going to see it. And if you use it, even send out cards, which people use. I'm a little on because it sort of pretends to be a handwritten note, but then it has electronic stamp on it. People can tell. It's not like no. Stick that stamp on. They know it was you, or your assistant. But at least they're guaranteed to open it. Trust me. Handwritten notes are an incredibly effective, way of communicating to potential clients, current clients, prospects, and that's why it's critical that you do it. I cannot stress that enough. In the Find Your Business game. Okay. Power session 2. Committed to build your database. Launch your contacts, touch campaigns. To continue to add to your database, you will need to lead generate for additional contacts. So I'm going to ask you guys, why is active lead generation important? Gillian? I know your name's not going to call in.
Great. That's how you get business.
Yeah, it's one of the ways to get in business, absolutely. So there's different kinds of lead generation. The reason why, if you do something every day, well, you know, one, it becomes a habit, and two, it turns into business. But, you know, at the start of your career, or if you're stalled in your career, you want to change how your career works, basically everything where you're at right now, where you are right now is a factor on everything you've done in your life up till now. So unless you're willing to change something, more or less your life is going to be just like it is now, and your business is going to be just like it is now. So you have to add in some things, and lead generating is one of those things. If you do an hour of lead gen every day, you will be rich. Not right away. Eventually. You will be a success in this business if you can do 1 hour of lead gen away. In fact, if you can do 1 hour of lead gen 5 days a week, you will be a success in this business. And lead generation systems are, you can spend a fortune. There's a lot of people who will call you up, you're a real estate agent, and they're going to say, hey, I've got a system for you. Just pay $10,000, $8,000, $5,000, $2,000, whatever, and we'll deliver you leads. Yeah, they will. Those leads will suck. And they cost you money. And you'll have to work to convert them. But you can do it for free if you have the time. And most people have more time than money in this career. Not always, and that eventually switches off. But lead generation is incredibly important to build a consistent level of business. Like if you aren't consistently lead generating every day, you will not have consistent leads. You will not make consistent sales. You will be a one sale, oh my God, what do I do now? Oh, another sale, oh my God, what do I do now? Kind of person. If you have a consistent level of lead generation every day, you will build a solid pipeline of real estate. And you know that's building a business. So it kind of helps you get rid of that feast or famine cycle that so many of us end up in. Now, what do you think is different about the lead generation of successful sales representatives to not successful sales representatives? Was anybody here yesterday for Irene? Time blocking? 2 keeners. Irene Kashansky, she does, I think, an hour of door knocking a day, regardless, and then another hour of lead gen every day for 20 years now. She makes $500K a year, just on her own. Every goddamn year. Every year. Year after year after year after year. And the crazy part is, I love Irene, don't get me wrong, and she's a great agent. You guys are just as good. Trust me. She's not a super genius. She's just steady, solid, puts the time in, works. She's a good agent. She's committed. But she's not superwoman. She's just, I do this every day. This is what I do, and it turns out. If you do it, you will eventually be a success. There's no way around it. So that is the key thing. The difference between successful and not successful sales representatives is the ones that make lead generation a daily habit. A daily habit, it'll change everything for you. I'm not saying it's easy. Real estate is simple, but it's not easy. And getting into that habit, especially when you're old and crotchety like me, it's not easy. It's hard. You know, if you can do it for 21 days, if you're under 25 or under 30, I think it takes about 30 days to make a habit. You do it for 30 days straight. If you're over 25, it takes longer. It takes longer. And so you have to really try. But, you know, and if you think about it, if people say this course says 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, that's an intimidating number, especially if you're doing none. 5 hours a day of lead generation is a lot of work. That's like work. I'm in real estate. You know, I got into real estate as a cunning dodge for my wife to think I was busy. So that worked out all right until I made money. Then she's like, no, you got to keep doing that. Oh, man. Okay, so lead generation. Job number 1, because this is it. This is the chart. Without leads, you don't get appointments. Without appointments, you don't get agreements. Without agreements, you don't get contracts. Without contracts, you don't get paid. It's not that complicated, except for the part about getting the leads. So what are ways of doing lead generation that don't cost any money? Door knock. Anyone else?
Emails, phone calls.
Emails and phone. Who are you calling? Who are you emailing?
personally, my sphere right now.
Okay. So we have the do not call list, and if you use it, you can cold call people. We're going to show a video from the Property Brothers. They rip it up. They just read from scripts. They hire agents to read from scripts. There's no magic carpet there. They just use the do not call, you know, blah, 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 blah. We're in your neighborhood. We're going to free evaluation, blah, blah, blah. And it works. I think that it's beginning to tail off, to be honest, because that do not call list is getting bigger, and the number of people with landlines is getting smaller. And the people who have landlines, the demographic is changing. And reaching out to seniors is a whole other kettle of fish, in my opinion. So, and then you make all this connection with a senior, and it's like, oh, I'd like to sell my house, talk to my son. They die, you don't know the son's name, you're like, and then they sell it with a best friend, even though you've had tea with them for 20 years. Irene and Phil had someone write them into their will. They must sell their house. They didn't sell the house. Yeah, true story. So I think that in general, cold calling is something that's still effective in Toronto, but it's becoming less effective. So that's my opinion. Door knocking, however, is always good. Door knocking is a great way to make an impression on someone. At the same time, nobody's hiding behind the door. Hi, I'm a realtor. Oh, thank God you're a realtor. I'm desperate to sell my house. I need someone right now. I'm so glad you're here. Come on in. Do you have the signs? No, it doesn't happen. No, it's not. That's not what happens. They're not desperately waiting for you. However, it's a chance for you to make a conversation. You know, it's a chance for you to build something around that door knock when they answer the phone that allows you to finally make that initial step. It's like, hey, did you see that house around the corner that went on the market? No. Do you know anyone who's looking to move into the neighborhood? Oh, here's that. Would you like to know what it sells for? Sure. Oh my God, all of a sudden you have a conversation. Everyone wants to know what it sells for. Here's a chance for you to follow up with them. Now you've got someone who's, you've had a conversation with. That's what door knocking is about. And so I always think about lead generation into two sort of buckets. There's the farming bucket and there's the hunting and gathering bucket. And door knocking is definitely part of farming. Like you plant the seed, you water it, you look after it, it grows, eventually you harvest. A referral, a sale, something.
That for one moment.
Yes, of course.
Because the do not call list is kind of disappearing a little bit. If you have access to E-Edge, Kirby Chan does a talk on how to utilize Facebook instead of the call registry in terms of reaching out to people that you already know and utilizing that as your new lead generation model for touching however many people are on your Facebook account every day. They might even be on YouTube.
Kirby Chan is great and a genius at Facebook. Like every time I've tried any Kirby Chan stuff on Facebook, people go, is this really you? Like, shit.
But you don't realize it. He says Facebook and you think fun, and he does Facebook and it means work.
Yeah. No, he's a good guy. And if you ever have a chance to see him, because he teaches as well, oh my God, go see him. All right, benefits of prospecting. We're going to discuss this briefly, although I think you already know. What are the benefits of doing your own prospecting? It's cheaper than paying someone else to do it. It increases your confidence and skill. It absolutely does. It will give you leads, some of which will turn into quality leads. Not every lead turns into a sale or a referral. That's how it is. But just doing the door knocking, just doing that conversation, just having those moments with people on their doorstep increases your ability to go do it again. And the number of times someone says, you never talked to me. Very rare. People will be rude. People, like if you knock the door during dinner and wake their baby, guess what? You interrupted them. They have a right to be kind of rude. Most people are not. And if they are, great, chalk it up, move on. It's not so bad. So if you've been in the business a long time, you're not doing enough business, or if you're just starting, prospecting is the way to go. Like there's absolutely no reason to not increase the number of, the amount of time you're doing lead generation. If you've got time in the day and you're not making the numbers you want to make, come up with something. There's other, people use Facebook, people find other ways of doing things. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit with my handout. So the myth here, prospecting equals annoying people equals rejection. That's what we're all afraid of. Truth, prospecting equals meeting people, building a purposeful business, relationships equals strong real estate business. It's really simple. It's not particularly easy. Okay, prospecting is a conversation. It's all about creating the kind of personal connections that will lead to purposeful relationships you can build a business on. Make prospecting happen through 4 simple steps. Capture leads by getting their contact information. Connect by establishing a relationship. Close them for an appointment, and eventually buying, selling real property. Cultivate them to maintain and strengthen your relationship. Right, this is all farming stuff. Business building conversations aim to achieve these goals. Get an appointment, get a referral. They always accomplish the same thing, strengthening the relationship. So, when I have a database of past clients, I use the scrap method, the paper method of database management. In the trunk of my car, I just sort through shit and it's like, I'll call you. It's embarrassing, but that's, I keep switching CRMs, I don't know why. Okay, capturing. The goal of building a database is to capture as many haven't mets as possible and turn them into mets. Then turn the mets into repeat and referral business. One of the best ways to do this is to leverage your mets through prospecting. In Ignite sessions 1 and 2, capturing contact information from your mets, but odds are you still don't have all the information you need from everyone. It's true. Remember, every time you speak with someone in your database, make sure you have all their information. And if you don't, ask them. Fill something in. It's not the end of the world. Connecting. This is the harder part that people always find somewhat peculiar. Successful real estate representatives understand how important it is to connect with people and refine the skill by doing it often and consistently. Your goal in the connect step is to approach any individual in a way that builds rapport and trust. One of the best ways is with questions. Look for opportunities to be of service to them. When you use scripts and uncover a real estate need, dig deeper for more information. That's pretty straightforward. So has anyone ever, you get everyone read these questions? Has anyone ever used them? Okay. When you're new, you're so excited. Every lead seems like, oh my God, I'm going to make a sale. I was standing next to this guy in the elevator, and he talked about real estate, and I gave him my card. Check's coming. It's easy to chase false leads. It's easy to think that things are going to work out. Every time, which is I think we all live in hope. That's why we don't just go home and cry. But it is these sorts of questions that allow us to ascertain the most important things about a potential lead or potential sale. Motivation is one we often skip. I don't know, because we're so excited about getting the lead, we forget to ask why they're bothering to talk to you. And you can chase someone down and show them houses, and they're all excited. So why are you moving? Oh, we're not. Why are we looking? Oh, I just like it. You're not going to go on an investment property? No. I've been showing you houses for weeks. Oops. Check for motivation. It is one of those things I think that, particularly at the start of your career, you're so excited about the fact that someone's talking to you, you forget to follow up with that important question. Why are you, what's causing this? Why are you speaking to me? Why are you calling me? The other ones are just, this is fill in blank questions. With your existing, database, if you have an existing database of past clients, I call them, I ask them 2 questions. So, how are you? How's the house? Those are 2 questions I ask. How are you? Chat, 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 chat. How's the house? I'm the realtor. Chat, 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 chat. And then I always, if I'm calling them, I have a reason to call. And I'm going to talk about that right now. Because in the build your business department, I find that closing, getting an appointment, getting a referral, getting a reciprocal connection, when you sort of call a person up, is a lot easier if there's an anchor to it. Like when you first start door knocking, the reluctance is, I feel like, knock, 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 hi, I need money. Can you help me? Like that's sort of what it feels like at the start when you're knocking on someone's door without any real purpose or reason. And then they look at you like, oh, what? Did you feel like a fraud? It's easy. That's an easy way to feel at the start. So I always feel like an anchor to a conversation or an anchor to the closing, especially a real estate anchor, is critical. It helps you overcome that hump, that moment of inertia when you have to go out and actually face actual people, especially if you're new and you're converting like your sphere of influence. I think that We spend a lot of time, especially on the internet, thinking it's like the internet seems like magical lead generation. Like, because nobody knows how new you are on the internet. Right? You've got a business card, you got a for sale sign, you got a fancy website to look like every other realtor. You are the person who knows you're new, and so you kind of feel reluctant to contact the people you already know. So I use the same system. I recommend it. I tell people about it, and we're going to talk about it right now. So when you move into the closing, the process of asking for the business, I feel that you can be more confident if you have an anchor point. So I'm going to talk about this in the handout, but how to use Collaborate. Is anyone using Collaborate now?
Yes.
No, we're pretty scared.
Don't be scared.
Huh?
Put my help.
I don't know why.
So I find Collaborate an incredibly useful tool for many reasons. I mean, it's great when you send your clients and they start looking on things and sending you, making little notes on listings and everything else. But for me, it's also an amazing way to convert your sphere of influence and to also to contact your database with real estate, with a basis real estate kind of question. When I get those flyers in the mail, and everyone gets flyers in the mail, those flyers are very ineffective, like unbelievably ineffective. Like if you happen to be the flyer on top of all the other flyers, they might see your face from there to the recycle bin. But if you're in the middle, not so much. It's insane how much money it goes into those flyers. For new agents, the payoff is so bad, like so bad. I don't recommend it for anybody who's new. So if we go down here to Collaborate, everyone's got a slightly different setup for their links, but this is me. So I love the map search for Collaborate, and I like it because it's immediate. It's not once a day. Like as soon as something pops up in a little square, it's active. Like it tells you right away, hey, there's a new so-and-so signed in, or there's a new hit in this search. So when you set up those searches, this is what I do. I take my current clients, my current sphere of influence, people I know from all those places you know in your life, and I create a search for them. But it doesn't email them, it emails me. I draw a little circle around their house. And every single time a house comes on the market within 100 meters of them, which isn't all that often, but every now and then, it sends me an email that says, hey, Sam Spade, house. Oh. Sam, it's Adam, how you doing? Good, good, how's the baby? Oh, that's great. How's the house? That's good. Hey, did you see that house on the market around 123 Smith Street? No, I didn't. When did it go on the market? Oh, just now. Do you know anyone's looking? No. Would you like to know what it sells for? No. Yeah. They always say yes. No one has ever once said no. They always say yes, because what does it mean? That house, of course, represents what their house is worth. Of course they're curious. You're their realtor. Even if you're brand new, this now gives you a chance to communicate with people who think of you as whatever dumbass thing it was you were doing before real estate. Because that's the thing, that's the hesitation between new agents contacting their own database, is they know you're new. Yeah, you're new. But if you draw that little circle around where they live, and you call them about real estate, they're going to start thinking of you as a realtor rather than as whatever dumbass thing it was you did before. They can't help it. And then when you follow up with them, when it sells, there's another phone call, there's another conversation. Hey, it did sell. You can always say, I always say, hey, look, would you like to go see it? I'm going to go see it later today. If you're interested, I'd be happy to take you through at a time that's convenient to you. It's a chance to meet them again. It's a chance to take that new person, that person from your sphere of influence database, who you may have been reluctant to put in your database, and convert them into thinking of you as a real estate agent. Your past clients, same system. It's just like, depending on where they live, you just tighten up the circle, because if they're living downtown, it has to be pretty much the building they're in a condo, because if you draw a circle, it's like, no, it's too many. But houses, in little areas, no, you just draw a little circle around them, and every time something comes on the market, it gives you a natural opportunity to engage with them about real estate. And it'll help them think of you as a realtor again, or still.
So why Collaborate versus just regular MLS?
Regular MLS is once a day.
Is this real time?
In real time. Real time. So I like Collaborate for that reason. I don't know, you can use MLS. I've used MLS. I like Collaborate. You can use, because it's a moment it comes up. It's like, boom, not the following day. And so I used to use MLS for the same system, but then in the morning I'd have an email and they'd be like, okay, here are the 14 hits that there were in your searches. And I wouldn't, I'd do some of them. But during the day, because it would just, when it loads, like it's 5 minutes later you get the email. Bing. Rather than in that morning, there's 14 people I have to call. I don't call them all. I don't know. I'm busy. That's how it is. That's why I like Collaborate. And and also, you can get your own clients on Collaborate. I find it's a way better system than MLS. That's just my general approach to how things work. And you just, you tighten it up and you just draw a little circle with a map tool. Learn to use the map tool. You're just like, there's Dave's house, he lives right there. I go boop, 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 boop. And then you save it as, here's my save. Search name, save for myself, and I type in my client's name. Done. And then it alerts me every time a house comes on the market. Collaborate is an incredibly powerful tool because it's immediacy, and for me, it organically interfaces with your day. I mean, people seem to load listings between 11 and 2, but that seems to be the peak time. But they happen all day long, and so that's why I like Collaborate versus MLS, because MLS just gives you that one email in the middle of the night. And for me, that was the reason why I didn't like it. So this is the same system that helps you convert.
Doesn't get like redundant, like you get email, like you get 100 people talking.
Well, tighten up those circles. I wish I got 100 emails a day. Days go by without any of those emails. Like there's only 1,991 listings, freehold listings in the city of Toronto right now. There's just not that many new listings coming up. When I started 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 12 years, 13, I forget now. You ever notice as you get older, those things that happened just a few years ago happened like a longer and longer time ago? Well, it's just 5, 10, 15, 30, 25. How did that happen? It's like years in the past. So it's not that many times that comes up. But like when I started, the average, I remember the inventory, the very first, I started in January, the end of January, there was 11,000 freehold properties for sale. It's considered a balanced market. Today there's 1,900. It's not a balanced market. It hasn't been a balanced market for years. Even though it's shifting, it's still a seller's marketplace. And there's just not that many new listings. So this system absolutely will not overwhelm you with emails. It won't. Unless you have 5,000 people in your contact database.
And how many would you put it up in?
How many people do I have set up?
Yeah.
I like 125.
Oh.
I would also add that if you're doing condos, you would be specific to, if the owner owns a 2-bedroom, you wouldn't send them 0 bedrooms or 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
You wouldn't call them and say,
No,
a 1-bedroom.
and the same thing, like you can set up, this is the little map circle, but of course you can set up more information about what's there. It's an opportunity to connect and make a phone call. It's really what it is. It's helping facilitate phone calls that are based on real estate. When I get those, I was talking about flyers, and I got distracted. You get those flyers in the mail, and the back half of the flyer is like about aromatherapy. And I was like, here's a fun fact about diamond mining. Huh, I was really interested in diamond mining now. Josie Stern, hey, I'm going to use you to buy my house. Not really. I don't know. It's just like people are digging, I like to send people information about real estate. I'm a realtor. It makes more sense to me. I have personal calls. I call people about personal things. I absolutely do that. That's why I start off with a phone call with, how are you? Right, that's fair. How's the house? The second question. So Collaborate's an incredibly important tool. Maybe I'll talk about the rest of the handout right now. In the Find Your Business, Build Your Business department, does anyone know about permission to advertise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not a big chaser of FSBOs. I don't know. It's not the business I like. But I am a firm believer, if you've got nothing going on in approaching permission to advertise people, why not? Oh yeah, that's me. So permission to advertise is not a standard field, you have to add it. And so you just have to go down here, add a field. Trivia question, does everyone know what a parcel of tied land is?
I don't, because I missed it once.
A pothole. Anyone else? It's a property that has a condo, a strata component, but it's mostly a freehold property. So you see that often where you have like a private road or like there's a small maintenance fee for garbage clean. It's like, so there'll be, that's what a pothole is, a parcel of tied land, and that there's something that's binding the group of homes together, and there's a strata for that. There's a stat certificate too. It's often like 3 pages thick, but it's there. You have to, it's important to know that the property is, so if you see a freehold property and in the description it says an $85 a month, maintenance fee, that's a parcel of tied land. Okay, where was that? Permission to contact listing brokerage to advertise. So you just add the field. Click yes. Submit. What do we got here? More than 200 in the city of Toronto right now. Find a neighborhood you want to work in. You email you email the listing agents. Everyone know how to email listing agents from Trev? I'm just going to show you real quick so you don't have to say you're done. You click on their name. Mike Wheat down here. There's his email. Done. You just copy that, stick it in your email program, email him, say, hi, I'd like to advertise your property. And he says yes or no. He's already said yes on MLS, but you still need written permission from him before you can advertise. When he returns the email and says yes, go to Bully. You can now advertise on Kijiji, on Craigslist, on MLS. Now, and what I realized on this thing is, on this particular handout that I did, it's my sample. I communicated with this person and I said, can I advertise your listing? They said sure. Unlike Craigslist and Kijiji ad, here's the thing, you have to mention the listing brokerage on the Kijiji ad. But no one says anything about the fact that you don't have to press enter 10 times before you put them down. So I make the ad, at the bottom of the ad, I press enter 10 times and I say listing brokerage, Remax West, listing agent. It's there, if they print it out, it's there. On the screen, it's not. Whatever. That covers you off on any potential complaint because you are compliant with RICO standards at that point. You've already asked for permission to advertise, so like what are they going to say? Of course they knew that you were going to advertise their listing with your name on it. Their name also has to be on it. It's like when you go onto Remax's website and you see your listing. Somewhere in there, in a gray level 8 font, it's most originally listed by Carl Lawrence. But like it has to be there. That's the law. I find that it's more effective. Very few people are looking for real estate on Craigslist and Kijiji who are not looking for rentals. There are some people who are looking for, real estate purchases on that. If you want to build your business through leases, which is why I did, that's a great way to do it. I find that the number of hits you get is low. It's low, but it's free, and it's time that you have. You can also post on Facebook. It's like, hey, I just saw this cool house. You should go look at it. Further, in the building your business department, converting renters to buyers. Converting renters to buyers seems like you always ask people who are renting, when are you thinking about buying? Oh, in about 5 years. Everyone says that. Everyone who's a renter says that. In about 5 years. It seems far enough away to be like a plausible goal, but of course not actually moving towards that. But people say about 5 years, oh, that's interesting, you could say. It is so easy to run the numbers and show people the difference between, because rents are so crazy high in this city, the difference between buying and renting over 5 years is just so small. It's like, really, you're spending $120,000 a year to rent over 5 years? I mean, that's what it costs you for 5 years of rent in the city for a tiny little place. And you could buy a tiny little place, and in 5 years' time, you'll have $90,000 in equity that you didn't have before, with a 2% growth. It's not like I don't use 12%, I use real numbers. You just run that through, you show them the numbers, you can say all you need to do, and it's a miracle step number 1, is come up with a deposit. The maximum for real estate is, buy real estate and wait. Don't wait to buy real estate. If you've got a line on renters, if you do leasing business, if you're new in the business, leasing is a good way to get into the business because it's low-hanging fruit that nobody wants. because it's a shitload of work and it's not a lot of money. Sorry about that, editing. But it is a great way to meet potential renters and then have those, they turn into potential buyers. And the way to convert them is to just show them the numbers. You know, it's just like, this is how much money you're spending on rent. You know, it's $2,000 a month, 12 months, $24,000 a year, 5 years is $120,000. You know, I'm not saying they're going to be able to buy Shangri-La, but there are places you can buy. You know, if you want to go to really dodgy parts of the city. And as rents continue to go up, it's easier and easier to convert those people. So that's just it's in the handout. I just wanted to touch those things. There's other ways of building your business that we don't talk about in here. But it is it's a key, easy convert conversation with renters, with your database, with your sphere of influence, with people you know who are just renting. Like, what are they waiting for? I would not let them wait. You're letting anyone you let wait, you know, they're killing themselves. So back to closing conversations. Day of completion, process of asking for business. Connecting is crucial, but unless you get the business, you won't be making any money. Many sales representatives are very successful in connecting with people. It's asking for business that is so challenging. Your goal is a call to close for at least one of the following: an appointment, a referral, or a reciprocal connection. You know, we forget that people who have our own past, you know, sometimes you haven't talked to someone for a few years, it's embarrassing. I'm like, I haven't talked to you in a few years. But you call them up, why not? Call them up and say, hey, how you doing, Sam? You'll be amazed how they are still happy to hear from you. They love the house. Thank you, great. Ask them for a referral. You know, it's unlikely that you don't want to call people up and say, hey, you've been in the house for 9 months. That's a long time. It's time to sell. You know, that should work.
Still not on that.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, churn. Churn. That's the name of my real estate company. Churn. But those people can still provide you business. Like, they have a positive experience with you. You've reminded them, even if it's a calendar or a bottle of wine a year, whatever. You just remind them of that positive experience. Ask for a referral. The people you've done business with in the past are much more likely to refer you business in the future than a random stranger from the internet. That's the way it is. So don't be hesitant to go through that. Okay, so some of these are going to appeal to different people depending on who you are. And so the idea here is that everyone should have at least 2. So I'm going to ask everyone to go through this list and pick 2 that represent them. Just pick 2 things that you would feel comfortable saying as if you're on the phone with someone. Or just pick 2. And you did not bring the book.
Sitting on my desk, all ready to come.
Good evening.
Thank you.
I do believe you.
Scrolling for, I live right
I don't know,
now.
it's that boy.
To refer, oh my gosh.
I thank you. I don't know what you're doing with that young
I'm
man.
at like 1:30, it was me
So, yeah.
That was me.
You mean you're trading him in already? I can't believe that. These saucy makes. Okay, so pick anyone, Muhammad? Anybody? Someone want to do one? Pick 2, which 2 appeal to you, Dave?
So, to my own detriment, I frequently find myself in the soft close scenario, which I think I could be a little more forceful with. So, I've really enjoyed seeing you. When we'd like to get together to discuss this further, as opposed to, today was a great day. Can we get together on Wednesday or Thursday to have coffee and discuss today?
Yeah.
So it's just, and it's a matter of changing a word or 2. It's the same. It's the same general idea, except now you're putting a time frame on it as opposed to leaving it open-ended.
So,
or yes or no.
At the beginning, like, the assumptive close is the only one in here that I hate, to be honest. Everything in here can work, depending on who you are. I hate the assumptive close, and only for this reason. It sounds like we should meet. Okay. I'm available most times this week. So when you say I'm available all week long, it sounds like you're a yutz. It's like, I have nothing going on. I have nothing going on, anytime. Please, it's me. Even if you're staring at your calendar and there's nothing on it, for God's sake, never tell them. Just say, let me see, I can move something. I got Thursday at 2, I have Friday at 4. You know, I have something in the evening, I can probably work around what's work. Does any of those times work? Give them some options. If you give them options, they will think about it and then respond. If you say, anytime next week, they're going to be like, yeah, I'll let you know. But if you ask them and you tell them, you prompt them, you give them some options, let those, then fill in the blank. That's awesome. But don't just say, I've got nothing going on. That's why the essential close makes me feel a little like, that's not the smart way to go.
The other one that I've used recently and it was successful was the trial close, where I think you would agree that we've gone over enough today that the meeting would be meeting would be our next step. So I just referred to actually one of my clients' ex-wives, which I found surprising, and she was very reluctant. High intelligence, no need for an agent type of person. And I said, look, if you're meeting other people, you're discussing relationships and what you're going to do and who's going to work best with your investment, why don't we spend the day looking at houses together? No commitment, no contracts, just we'll go look at a bunch of stuff and we'll get a feel for what's out there and what works for you. And I was the only agent that suggested the trial day, and I got the contract on Wednesday. That was Sunday, I got the contract on Wednesday, with the listing on the back. So
Back up.
the trial is not a bad thing as long as, and I think I was saying this to you, if you get an opportunity to do an open house, you gotta nail the open house. If you get an opportunity to spend the day with someone who's interviewing agents, you gotta nail that, like water in the car, time for a coffee stop, like little things.
Pre-drive the route.
Granola bars.
Oh yeah,
You know?
if you got a pregnant client, always have food.
Yeah, like never go with an empty car, never go with, just enough time to spare between appointments. You're always better calling and saying, hey, I'm a little bit early, is it okay if I go in? Than, hey, I'm running a half hour behind, can I get the appointment? Because there's a better chance of them saying no to delaying the appointment than moving it out.
If you're taking someone out on a Sunday or on a Saturday afternoon, drive the route in the morning, drive the route on Friday, drive the route you're going to take them. You will see for sale signs and open house signs that are already up. Learn about them so that when you're taking your clients, you can say, oh yeah, 91 Kenilworth. It's a $1.3 million shit show. It's like, but you can drive by and you've got something to say, because they'll ask you. You don't have to provide the information. If it's on the same street, they're going to want to know, what's that one for sale for? How come that's on the market? Why are we seeing that?
Or what it's sell for.
Well, or what it's sold for. Because I mean, it's not that hard to keep that information in your head, and then you sound like you know what you're doing. So drive the route. And now that you mentioned open houses, we're going to talk about open houses real quick. Every brokerage has listings. This one does. If you want to make if you don't have a listing of your own and you want to make a connection with new people, get an open house. This is a list of listings this brokerage has on the market right now. A lot of them. Don't wait for an agent to say, hey, can someone do my open house on Friday? Start on Tuesday. Email the agents in your brokerage and say, hey, I see you have that listing. Are you doing an open house this weekend? Be proactive. And they might say, yeah, I am. Are you doing one Friday night? No. Could I do one Friday night? Just ask them. If you get a Friday night open house, you can have a Friday night wine and cheese. Door knock around the open house. Spend Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sending out little cards to the street saying, hey, Friday night I'm having a wine and cheese, come see the house. Don't wait for it to happen. Go make it happen. It's just, the information is there. And the reason why I suggest not waiting is because on Friday someone's going to say, hey, I've got an open house, is anyone free to do it? And you go, oh yeah. And it's like a grow up in Milton without a chair. You just stand there with a gas mask for 3 hours. You're like, oh, why did I agree to this? So be proactive on that front. Okay. Cultivating. I think we've already talked about it a little bit. Whether or not you closed for an appointment or gotten a referral, once a connection's been made, it can always be strengthened. Ongoing process. The relationships established here will continue to build as you keep in touch and perhaps eventually do business together. When you want the relationship to keep building, people who like you will do business with you and refer more business to you. That's all true. Does that not seem sensible? So when I make those calls to my clients and I ask them how the house is, sometimes they say, oh, I'm thinking about redoing the bathroom. Oh, I have a great bathroom contractor. Oh, there's a problem with the plumbing. Oh, I've got a good plumbing guy. You have an opportunity to add value, right? To connect with them, to give them something, that's something useful for them. I'm not going to talk about 8x8 and 33 touch. This is very personal stuff, like how you set this up, what matters to you. Like my 8x8 is the smallest amount of emails possible because I just hate email. So I hate sending them and I hate getting them. But it's important that when you make that initial connection, this is you door knock, you cold call, you've got a conversation, you've got some information from the first time. You cannot wait 6 months to call them again. It's not gonna, who are you again? We had that great 3-hour conversation back in, July. They're not gonna remember. So the 8x8, if you don't remember, is that after you make that initial contact, you make a contact every week for 8 weeks. Something. Thanks for the call. Drop them off a card. Send them flowers. $5. Whatever it is, that's the stuff. And then after the 8x8, after those 8 weeks of making the touch every week, I think it's every week, not every day. It's every week. Then you put them on a 33 touch. Because you've kind of actually established some kind of relationship with the person who answered the phone or talked to at the door.
There was talk at family reunion about changing the 8x8 to every 3 to 4 days if you meet them at an open house.
Yeah.
So there's.
And they want to change the 33 touch too. So.
Yeah. So it's you can manipulate it, but there was a whole bunch of. Essentially, it's still an 8x8. It's just depending on how warm the lead is. You want to stay top of mind right away, or whether it's a soft sell and you want to be top of mind in 3 months when they're ready.
Let's back that up too. That's exactly. It's a great point. How warm the lead is how often you want to contact someone. If you meet someone at an open house, that's a red hot lead. They're looking. They're a buyer or a seller. Sellers are often disguised as buyers at open houses because they're just thinking about selling and they're checking you out. That's what they're doing. They're looking at the house, but they're also shopping agents. So if they come in and you're all like, oh yes, they're maybe not going to be all that excited about using you. But if they do sign in, if you get someone's information at an open house, and you had a conversation with them, and you find out that, and you know that they're looking at homes that are at least like the one you were at, because they came to that one, you have an opportunity to connect with them. Now, if someone hasn't already got an agent, and they're going out open house shopping, it's a miracle, it happens like once a year. You want to communicate with them in a way that demonstrates that you're not like every single other agent. Because the first weekend everyone goes out open housing, they sign in. Here's my information, my email, my phone number. And then by the second week they've stopped. Because they've gotten 400 emails from every agent already. And they're like, oh, why did we say yes to all that crap? But that first weekend or the second weekend that they're still happily filling in their correct information on those open house sign-in sheets, it gives you a chance the next day, or that evening, or the day after, don't wait any longer than that, to then send them an email saying, hey, you came to my 123 Smith Street open house, which was a 3-bedroom semi and a junction triangle. I happened to notice there was another junction triangle 3-bedroom semi come on the market. I went and had a look at it. I'm a little concerned because of X, Y, and Z. It was a little different from this, and what you said at the open house was you were looking for X, Y, and Z and A, B, C. But just in case you were thinking that you were going to look at that house, this might be a pass or this might not be. Take a couple of pictures, send them the listing, send it off to them. They're going to get that same listing from a few other agents. But that's all they're going to get. What did you do? You went and had a look at that house, you gave them some opinion, you added some value. You're already head and shoulders above every other agent. You send them some, here's the listing, email. And in general, there are 60,000 other realtors in the city. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be that much better to stand out. And you will. Go to the house. Go to another prospective house. Follow up with the open house people with some value. Spend 10 minutes. Go to another house. Take some pictures on your phone. Send it off to them. I also hate sending people email directly from Trev. Who sends people email directly from the Trev MLS system?
Listings.
So, if you're just meeting someone, I have a suggestion. The suggestion is send it to yourself instead. So you send it to yourself. So this is the listing you want to send them. Current listing, client full, all the attachments if you want. Send it to me. Here it is. So then on my email system, let's show up here somewhere. Yeah. There it is. So now I have the email. Here's the view details. Here's the same listing. Here it is. The map, the listing. Highlight that. Control C. Now you've got the link. Now you just send them the email. Blah blah blah. I can't type. So so here's the house I thought maybe that might interest you, right? You just, whatever.
And that link will open?
Yep.
Really?
Oops, I totally missed that. Too much coffee. I use Gmail, everyone has different accounts, whatever. And so now when they get the email, they're going to get a personal email from you. You can add photos, you can add information, it's got all your signature, it's all personalized. And then when they click the link, it opens up the same thing you're going to get from Trev. But does it look like every other agent? No, not so much. Does it look like it took some time? Yeah, it does. So especially for those new, those new conversions, like you just need to stand out a little bit, just a little bit. And that will give you a foot in the door over everyone else who's just sending them the same listing with the same blah, blah, blah from the Trev MLS. And do it. I mean, if you're not going to do anything, for God's sake, send them the listing, but just add a little bit, and you will stand out, and you will be more successful. God knows I don't know why I'm successful, but that seems to work for me.
And for prospecting, you do collaborate?
I do collaborate, yeah. Especially with sphere of influence people.
So the first email you're copying the link from MLS.
Oh, so yeah,
But then
yeah. For collaborate, that's still coming to me.
Okay.
Like I send them the MLS, so I use collaborate because it's immediate, but I send them the MLS link. I don't send them the collaborate link. That's a good question.
Every day?
Anytime that I'm converting a new prospect.
Okay, so I'm a prospect.
Yeah.
You're going to send me the list of homes for my criteria.
Yeah.
The next day there's going to be new homes coming up in the market, right?
Yeah.
So usually MLS sends automatically. In your case, what do you do?
So if I'm at the point where they've asked me to send them up on a prospect search,
Yeah.
I feel like they're now basically clients. Like I'm not worried about converting them anymore as much. Like if I sat down and had those conversations with them, I use collaborate as a way of communicating with past and current clients and prospects, not solid hardcore I'm active leads yet. I send them a collaborate link and say, hey, if you want to use collaborate, it's a great system. And then I'm still sending them stuff from MLS. I send it to them the same way though. I send it to me and then I send it to them. I don't like sending it directly to them. If I'm doing the searches, I will also set up, if they're not going to use collaborate, I will set up a Trev MLS search. That sends them one email at 2 o'clock in the morning every day. But I would prefer, most of my clients like collaborate. Because part of the thing I do when I sit down with them is I show them how it works. Now maybe I said, this is all the same search stuff that I have. You get it now. They like it. They are actively engaged in it. And then they make the comments, and then I make a comment back. It's all very immediate. But no, that's a good point. When I'm prospecting with people who are trying to convert them, I send them the information from Trev. I don't send them the collaborate links. I just use that to alert me that there's a reason to call. All right, skipping the sphere of influence. So you're new, I already talked about this, all you new people. Don't be afraid to contact your sphere of influence because everyone's so guarded. Like everyone's terrified of reaching out to these people. Don't. They see your number on the phone and they want to answer it. That's the kind of person you want to call. I get called, I'm a real person, I answer on the phone all the time. But most people don't. Who's that? I don't know. Unidentified number, blocked call, weird number they don't recognize. Does anyone answer those? No, they don't. They let those go. I'm not going to bother with that. But if someone sees your name and you're on their phone and they answer the phone, why on earth would you call them? That's a great person to call. And so here's this list, the sphere of influence list. People basically are looking in real estate for someone they trust. They know you're new, you can get the answers. Everyone learns in this game every day. No one has all the answers. But what you have at the start that is the most valuable part is the fact that they already know you and trust you. Why wouldn't you call those people? So I recommend calling them with a real estate purpose rather than just calling to say, hey, let's have coffee. You can call someone for 45 minutes and not talk about real estate. That was not a business call. I didn't do anything. They're not helping you. All right, so this is the part where you have to write down some names. Is anyone ready to do this? You're so ready. All right. I want everyone to spend 5 minutes writing some names down here so that you can call these people on the weekend. If you haven't already added them to your database, you're gonna add them to your database. You're gonna try and collaborate out. Just write a name in, at least 5, in somewhere in here, but we're not already in your database. 5 minutes.
To take a break.
Yeah, I need a water. I never have any idea. I just try not to swear too much. Oh, I was supposed to give you 10 minutes. Whatever.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
While we complete this exercise. I apologize to everyone that's heard me ask this question 3 times already,
No.
but I'm having a hard time with this because I'm a new agent
Mm-hmm.
with the script. I get the reason for scripts and the fallback plan and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
but this doesn't sound like me,
It doesn't.
and I'm having a hard time trying to modify it to my personality without it.
So there's some of the best script guys
Right,
in Keller Williams read word for word
right.
from these scripts. They've tried, they've altered them, they've made them their own, they've done them, they just read them. They read them word for word. And it does sound ingenuine,
Right.
because that's not your voice.
Like I've had friends call me on it.
Sure,
Right.
yeah. Well, friends know you.
Or colleagues from my hotel and restaurant days. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, why are you talking like that?
It's true. It's true. People who know you expect your voice.
Right.
When you're calling just the do not call list, when you're not supposed to call,
Right.
they don't. And so I was at a script seminar a couple of weeks ago with a dude who is just destroying it out in Port Meadow and Mississauga. And he reads the scripts. He adds some pauses
Right.
sometimes in the scripts at key moments out of the just blah, 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 blah. There's a guy who, out in Ajax, Pickering, in Durham in general, Dan Wood. He was the most wooden guy you have ever met. Hi, it's Dan Wood. I'm calling because I have a... He would teach people how to do it. He would sit here in front of everyone here. He would take out his phone and he would just call. Hi, it's Dan Wood. Blah 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 blah. Would you like me to come to your house and give you a free home evaluation? 5 calls. Get an appointment. 5 calls. Guy was like, that's what he did. He was also a genius at internet lead generation. If you type in Dan Wood, the first 10 pages of Ajax were his website. And he sold, he didn't, and the crazy part was that he knew he was wooden. He knew he was wooden. He generated the leads, he sold them to other realtors for 50%. And his website was so active that they came to his phone, his leads came to his phone, he traveled the world for 2 years, he didn't sell a single house. And he would just call realtors and say, because he had that first phone call, he had a second phone call, and the third phone call was the, when can we pick you up phone call? And then he'd be like, my associate, Crazy Dave Williams, is going to pick you up, and they'll take you to see those houses. And after he called Crazy Dave Williams and said, hey, I've got a lead for you, they're looking for a $275,000 shithole, and are you interested? And you say, sure, 50% referral. And he focused on his strengths, which was apparently a wooden delivery. People do make it their own. People do take those scripts and modify them so it sounds like you. In general, the scripts are designed to be neutral and effective and mostly personality free. And they work. I can't say enough about just calling people and reading the script. Maybe not try it with your best friends.
Right.
Because it works. And we're going to show you the time block, show you the video after time blocking of the Property Brothers here in Toronto. That's all they do. That's all they do. I think in 2014 they did 47 transactions. Something like $50 million worth of business, and it's just from cold call. And they just blah 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 the script. Blah 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 blah. Can I ask an appointment? Blah 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 blah. That's all they do. I mean, I can't say that's all. That's really. It doesn't sound like you. You feel unauthentic. It's not easy. I'm not arguing that point. It doesn't feel easy to not sound like yourself. But eventually, trust me, when they meet you, they'll get to meet you.
Right.
You get to be all the authentic you want. It's just getting that, that bums and seats moment, like to get that appointment, to convert a lead to an appointment. Just, you can alter the scripts however you want. I recommend not doing it, not at the start. Just read them. If you're gonna cold call, just read the scripts. It's stupid how well they work. Like you're just like, that worked. Like it's embarrassing. Prospect efficient. Oh, did everyone write down some names? At least 5? Yes? Okay. And you're going to call them or communicate with those people? Find a reason. Find a reason. If you're going to go door knock, we're going to talk about this in a second. Prep. We're going to prepare. Prepare your, for this formula, time blocking, this one is called the 3 and 3. It stands for 3 things done in 3 hours. A new sales representative, you can and should spend more than 3 hours doing this. I think if anyone can spend more than 3 hours doing this, you're a superstar. Prepare, prep call lists, say affirmations. I used to think saying affirmations was really silly, but you have to get out of your comfort zone if you're going to make a change in your business. If you're not willing to do something different, nothing's going to change in your life. Nothing's going to, if you're doing whatever you do today, tomorrow, pretty much the same result as expected. So I find that saying affirmations, as goofy as it is, it at least makes you step out of your comfort zone. And if you're not going to do that, you're not going to change anything. We all walk towards the easy and away from the hard in our lives. That's what we are. We're human beings. There's the ice cream, there's the work. I don't know the ice cream. You have to do the work, and that means changing something. So prep call lists. So if you can get those call lists for streets in a neighborhood, by prepping the call lists, that's one, getting the numbers or using a dialer, know something that's happened in that area. Know the last sale. Someone's going to call you on it. Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. Great, that house on Edwin, what did it sell for? Oh, $853. Too long. You need to know. So that's what prep call list kind of for me is about, is having something ready to say, having some information about the street that you're calling or you're door knocking on is a good idea. Because people will want to know. People will want to know. Say affirmations, practice some scripts. Just read them out. Read them on your voicemail. Record yourself. Listen to them. They do work. It's embarrassing. It's true. They do work. Just be wooden and just own it. Take action. You can do all the prep you want until you actually call people or door knock or go to your sphere of influence. Nothing's going to happen. And then this is the other key thing which I fall down on. Update your database. You did all the prep work, you did those cold calls, you reached out to your past clients, they've given you a referral, you're awesome, you call them, you got that hot lead, you call them, they're a hot lead, and then I will, I'll forget to put them in my database. I'm still going to call them, I'm going to still do stuff, but if you don't consistently add people to your database, I have a new assistant, and she's like, these people you did deals with aren't in your database. They are? Oh, I didn't know that. Because I suck at it. But she's really good, so that's changing. Updating your database really it's critical. All that work that you did to get that lead, to get that contact information, to get that new bit of information, if you don't actually put it in the computer, it's like it never happened. Maintain, track results, schedule commitments, write thank you notes. I think I already covered how important thank you notes are. We're going to watch a video. No, not that one. I hate the finding more leads video. I think I already skipped it. These are Toronto boys, born and bred, and they're very good friends with Norm Farquhar, the broker of record here. And they come here and they do some training from time to time. It's worth seeing them. He's very funny. Just a shorter brother.
Cool. So I'll say where we're from and then you get directions. Is that all right? Hi, my name is Dylan Vervanchek.
I'm Sean Vervanchek.
I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We're the Real Estate Brothers.
2014, we wrote 72 transactions for $47 million.
Sean and I are very lucky because we're actually fairly entrepreneurial in sales. So we were able to just sort of survive by luck and by just sort of being likable and nice.
We had a decent business that wasn't growing.
We did a lot of door knocking originally, but what we found was with bad weather, once you have to drive to door knock, it was just going to wild card.
If we were to grow the business, we needed to add people to our database, and if we were going to do that, we needed a systematic way that we knew we could achieve results that were predictable. So we just kind of started cold calling.
About 3 hours a day, and we found that the results were phenomenal.
Come take a look where we've been this whole time.
You can literally do it from your
It's just more time effective.
Yeah.
If you're cheap like we are, you don't want to spend a ton of money on the web or on print. The telephone lines, you pay a monthly bill and you can call all you want. Why don't you come in here and show you the cold calling here? We've got a map where we've broken the entire city into zones. We like to target areas where we have buyers.
It's been scrubbed to the do not call list, and it still represents over 250,000 phone numbers. All of our desks have 3 monitors. We have Mojo in the middle, we have our scripts on the right, and then on the left,
Do some research on the house they're calling for, stuff like that. Cold calling is like adding jet fuel to your car or something. Like it pumps your business up.
we went from making,
What was our first year? Like 70K, and then this year together we did $1.1 million. So this is Sean calling from the Real Estate Brothers. You know what, I'm so sorry about you today, but I just noticed that you have to treat cold calling as though it's an appointment. If you don't prioritize it, things will always find their way in and block you from being able to do it. It's the most important thing you can do for your business.
absolutely most important, and you have to quantify it as well. The bold 100 contacts a week is a really, really cool way
To set a bar.
to set a bar and get started and stick to it, whatever it is.
I was just wondering, is anything changed in your plans? You still thinking this straight again on the market?
You can't think today was a bad cold calling day, because today doesn't matter. What matters is what you accomplish in a year. And if you just keep adding people to your database and systematically follow up with them and take care of the people who you work for, you'll do great.
You're not always going to have great success every day, but it's by doing it every day that you have great success.
We're putting in the neighborhood for the next 2 weeks giving free evaluations. You know what I'd love to do?
Well, I'll say too that one thing that we were afraid of, and I think everyone is just the rejection side of it. People being mean to you on the phone and rude. We have this saying with our team that you're either part of our future or part of our past, and either way it's fine. But the people who are rude to us are obviously not going to be part of our future.
I have a chuckle about it. Like, honestly, when someone cusses at me or something, I just laugh because it's funny.
Do you think that it would make sense for us to put some intensity for the weekend?
The more time you spend not on the phone, you're losing money, because that 3 hours of my day is my 20% where I make my money.
Don't get ready to start thinking about how you're going to eventually do something. Just do it. Like,
Just do
get
it.
done.
Stop watching this video, get off your butt and go start dialing numbers and talk to people. Just get on the phone.
Yeah, and if you hate money, don't do it.
Yeah.
I think.
I really think they nailed it there. They work it. They work it every day. They have, I mean, they don't do a lot of the calling as much now as they used to. They have a team full of people, a room full of people that do it. They're all realtors. If you want to, go over there and say, "I'll cold call," they'll take you on. You're not building your own business then. That's the working for a team will give you a lot more exposure. But any of the contracts that you do while you're working for like the Prospective brothers or any team, they don't belong to you. Like they belong to them. So even though you're going to get paid, you're going to get a percentage. You're doing the work, but you're not building your own database. You're not building a future for yourself. You're helping someone else with their business. Now, it appeals to some people. And so I can't say don't do it. But if you're stuck and you're not going anywhere, call them up. Because they're always looking for fresh meat. Anyone's willing to sit there and call for 3 hours a day, every day. Yeah. Okay, do it.
They went from 70K to 1.1 million?
Yeah, in 2 years. Now that was gross. They had other agents. They had expenses. Not a lot.
Still,
Yeah, so it's funny when you listen to agents on the whole award side of things. It's nuts. Like they could have made they could have made 1.1 million and spent $900,000 to get it.
yeah.
They didn't, but they could have, and they would have won awards. Look, they made 1.1 million. I always think it's more important to think, well, okay, you made 100,000, but it cost you peanuts. It's like you didn't spend any money. You made, oh, hey, way to go! It's like I almost feel that's a bit better. Somehow, I don't know. Maybe I messed up there. So cold calling really does work. It's an insanely effective system to generate business if you don't have any. You just call people. You're going to get rejection. Sure you are. Yeah, people will say no. And you're going to, and to be honest, at the start, you're going to be worse at it like anything else. It's hard to detect a lead. Like it's hard to find. You're talking to someone, you're reading the script. They might interrupt you. They might ask you a question. You may want to return to the script. Like Like, oh, wait a minute, I haven't finished yet. That's why I want to read you more. Like, what, I have to know stuff now? I have to answer questions? Like, you know, if you're new, you're new. You're just going to be not as great at it. After a while, you will get better. There's no way around it. You know, at the start of my career, I chased false leads all the time. I didn't understand what a real lead was. I couldn't tell the difference between a real lead and a fake lead, or something was more likely to convert than less likely to convert. You know, now I don't know.
Script buddies are huge too.
Oh,
There's 2 agents in our office, Carmel and Mariana, and they've scheduled 2 hours a day, every day for the past 2 years. And they just work on scripts with each other back and forth. And they're phenomenal at them.
yeah, Carmel just cold calls. You know, Mojo Dialer, calls.
She's awesome.
Yeah. And, you know, she works for herself, so whatever business she gets is all 100% hers. So, solid preparation is the foundation of successful prospecting. Spend time every day getting ready before you call people. So prep call lists, generate a list of names, phone numbers, pertinent info. Referrals, sphere of influence, who's due for a call. For sale by owners, I hate for sale by owners, so I hate talking about them. It's probably because of my early career, because you have nothing going on. I chase for sale by owners. I spent so much time chasing them for so little result. It was just like, all I seemed to do was help for sale by owners, like sell their homes without realtors. Like, why did I do that? Leads from sign calls. Sign calls are the hardest lead you will ever convert. If you can convert a lead from a sign, I think that you're made it. That's the moment you're arrived as a real estate agent. Because people who are calling you from the sign are crazy. And I can tell you, I've had the worst sign calls from people reading my number on the real estate sign. It is insane. You look like a guy who really pissed off my brother once. Uh-huh. I'm pretty sure I'm not that guy. Interested in the house? No! Thanks for the call. It's like, that's a real phone call I got once. It's just like, you're a crazy person. Or they'll just lie to you. It's like they want to know what the house, they're standing in front of the house. They're like, so, and the thing with the sign call is they just want the number. How much? That's all they want. And if you tell them, they'll hang up. So, $875. Fine. What have you got out of that? Nothing. You got nothing out of that. You're like, oh, so, where'd you see the listing? Oh, how much is the house? Oh, I'm just juggling some paperwork here. How long have you been looking? Just now. Oh, you just started. But you want to get as much information from them as possible before you give them what they want. Like, I'll be happy to send the listing. Just tell me how much it is. Absolutely, I will. Are you working with an agent? No! Why is that? Because you fucking talk like that. Oh, okay. You know, I feel like the value of the home is really represented when you actually see it. Are you actually standing in front of the house now? Yeah. Okay. I could be there in 5 minutes. Why don't I just walk you through? How much? What does it get you? So converting those leads in the sign call is really hard in general. You know, that's how my feeling is. Neighbors have just listed and just sold. This is where you're doing the open house. You know, go knock on those doors. It's like, hey, time for you to pick your own neighbor. Get a new neighbor opportunity right here. You don't want to let some sleazeball move in. You know someone who wants to move into the neighborhood? It's your chance. It's a great one. Allied resources. People, you know, so contractors or, you know, other real estate stuff that you can offer to your, you know, to those people. It's good information to have. Calling your past clients, you gotta have the questions ready, you gotta have information ready, you gotta have the recent sale near their house. Rehearse scripts. Formal script practice. Daily activity you should be doing with a script partner or as a part of a team prior to preparation time. Say affirmations. Focus on your big why. Focus on your big why. It's funny how over time, I think you're ready to accept different things in your brain. When I first started in this real estate business, I didn't have a big why. I didn't get it. I didn't have a big why. I just need something to do. Like, I'm doing this. And then all of a sudden I had a big why. It's like, oh my God, I have a big why now. It gets me out of bed. And I go to work. But it's, you know, if it's not a genuine thing, it doesn't work. If you have a genuine big why, a big reason to actually get out there and do the thing that you don't want to do, which is prospecting and door knocking and cold calling, it will really get you, you know, to commit to it. But it's, I find it something that you can't artificially create. It's like, okay, today I'm picking my big why, it's to retire with $1 million. Retire with $10 million. If that's not really what drives you, it's not going to work. Take action. Prospecting time. Approximately 2 hours of the 3x3 is spent making connections, building relationships, asking for business. Get out your database or call list and start calling. Update your database with each call. So important. It's important to get the details where they are fresh in your head. Maintain. Follow up. Approximately 30 minutes of your daily 3x3 should be spent on wrapping up your lead generation with some methodical follow-up. Finish entering the results into your database, write follow-up notes, track results, schedule and calendar, fulfill promises, such as sending information as they requested. Does anyone know how long it takes to get a lead?
To get like a name, phone number, and email address?
No, just to get a lead. To then have, how long does it take you from zero to get a lead? Someone who is thinking about real estate that you didn't know at the start of the day, who's now going to talk to you about real estate. Okay, most people don't. Most people have no idea. It's really hard to figure out how much business you're going to do until you actually do know how long it takes to get a lead. So if you spend 3 hours every day calling random strangers or door knocking, at the end of each day, you track how many people you connected with, how many new contacts you have in your database. And that is the information that tells you how long it takes to get a contact. Over the course of a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that number will be fairly consistent. And from those contacts, if you meet someone at a door or you got a cold call, you don't always get an appointment right away. You just called someone. They may not be wanting to buy or sell, but you've made a contact with them. But eventually you want to convert that to an appointment, to come over and get them an opinion of value of the home, or to meet them, or to offer them some other reason to make a furthering a relationship connection with them. So that's an appointment. That's what that is, in my opinion. So how long it takes to convert a contact that you've made into an appointment is numbers. That's information you need as well. When you have that moment, it takes me 45 minutes to get a new contact. Oh, okay. So when you find that out, and you think, okay, how many contacts do I need to make before I get an appointment? Well, eventually you figure that out too.
There's a new pipeline tool on KW Command that you can use to track name, address, phone number, date, and you can make all of your notes, and it's pretty freaking phenomenal.
I just use a spreadsheet, but anything's great.
It's a spreadsheet,
Yeah.
essentially.
So once you know those numbers, and you're like, okay, so how many transactions do I want to make a year? I want to make 15. Okay, great, 15. So 15 transactions, how many appointments does that take? Well, I know now that for every appointment that I make with someone, I have about a 33% chance to convert to a contract. So that means I need to have 45 appointments. So 45 appointments, how long did it take me to get 45 appointments? Well, for every 10 contacts I made, I got an appointment. Okay, so for how long did it take me to get an appointment, to get a contact? Oh, well, 45 minutes. So 10 times 45, you just add the time in. And then when you work that out, it tells you how long you have to go out and do prospecting every day. That's what it tells you. It's like, once you know how long it takes you to get the contact, and how many contacts it takes to get an appointment, and how many appointments it takes to get a contract, that is the information that allows you to build your life for real out of real estate, with actual hard data that you've generated because it's you. Like, it's how long it takes you to get that contact, how long it takes you to convert those, how many contacts it takes to get an appointment. That's, and from that, that's how it works. You just back it out from there. It's like 15 sales will mean I have to spend, 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours a day generating leads. So track results, that's what that's about. Every day, how long did it take me to get those contacts? That's what track results mean. It doesn't just mean writing down the name. How long it took you is a vital bit of information for real estate business planning and for your life planning, and to also see that what you're doing actually eventually turns into a business. At the start, when you get that first sale, that first lead, that first transaction, and it's not your mom's house, you're like, woo! But you don't really know how long it took you. It took your whole life, 30 years, 40 years to get that first sale. But really you want to know. You want to know, and that's the information that comes from tracking your results. Schedule and calendar, time block, commit, and be realistic. I'm turning 50 this year, #ads by 50. I'm working on it. I'm up to 3.5 minutes of ab exercises a day. It's a miracle. I know that if eventually I keep doing it, something might happen to this sort of midriff of jelly that is currently there. And it's just, you have to commit. I know if I did 6 hours of ab exercises every day, I would be Superman way before the 50th birthday arrives later on this year. But I'm not going to, because I can do 3.5 minutes, because that's all I can do. And the same thing is true with prospecting. Everyone has a different stomach for this. So don't kill yourself thinking, okay, I gotta make 4 hours of calls today. Because if you hold that 4 hours up in front of you, you're gonna do none if you can't stomach 5 minutes of it. Like, it's not gonna do anything. You're like, oh, I can't do 5 minutes, I'm not gonna do 4 hours. Start with 5 minutes. Better than nothing. Finding more leads. Okay, we're gonna reach this one. I know. Some of these videos are better than others.
Lead generation is your number one job. You have started by calling your mets, your sphere of influence. You have even reached out via social media. But what do you do when you run out of contacts? Where do you find more leads? There are...
Did I do something?
See you Monday at 5:30.
Yeah.
I'm holding you accountable now.
Okay. Sorry, oh my god, this is like Buffer City. Everybody's excited to keep touching my mouth with the table. Dave and I occasionally meet at the gym. We both go early. He goes more. Okay. Magical internet gone. Okay, I'm gonna say it's the internet.
Yeah, the last few days it seems to have been a little.
can find additional prospecting opportunities. Think about
All right. Basically, the video says, we all only know so many people, right? No matter what. You'll call them all. You can call them all in a week, call them all in a day, call them all in 2 weeks. Everyone you know. When you call me in? Hey, remember me? Yeah, you just called me yesterday. Well, let's have that same conversation again. Eventually, you're going to run out of people you know in your sphere of influence to call. Even your clients. Even your clients, you're going to run out of clients. You can't call them, hey, it's me again. Yeah, okay. Crazy person, I'm going to get a restraining order. You keep calling. Eventually, you run out of people who are easier to call. So you have to add more people. If you're going to build your business, you have to add people into your database. I think of my database as a fire with 150 red hot pokers in it. Some of them come out every year. They do. Not all of them. Some of them. Can't expect everyone in your database to transact real estate with you every year. It doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. The average length of time someone owns a house in the city of Toronto is about 9 years. 9 years. So if you sell them a house, 9 years from now, there's a reasonable chance that they might want to sell again. And if you call them every day and ask them if they want to sell before then, they will probably, not answer the phone after a while. So you have to come up with some strategy to generate more leads. And that is from Prospective. And, door knocking and cold calling and FISBOs and they work. They really work. And the city is big enough that if you just apply your trade, you will get business. You will find other things that work better for you. Like there are people who, downtown, Candace, last name, I forget her last name, goddamn, Candace, she got married, something Brown, oh, shoot. All she does is have dinner parties. That's it. She's never door knocked or cold called a day in her life. She has dinner parties. She runs dinner parties. She invites her friends over, or some of those friends bring friends. She has big dinner parties. She loves dinner parties. That's what she does. It is mind-melting how many transactions she does every single year, and she's never door knocked or cold called in her life. Kirby Chan, Facebook. He doesn't cold call, he doesn't door knock, he just does Facebook. People have different things. Something that more appeals to you more, focus more energy on that, you will get results from it. That's the truism of this real estate business. We teach everyone that this works because it does. It may not work for you. It may not be the best way for you to spend 3 hours a day. If you're not doing anything else, do this. After a while, you'll find something that appeals to you more, something that you can use from your personal experience, your past life experience, that allows you to interact with new people, because sales is about meeting people. If you aren't meeting people, it doesn't matter how great you are. No one is going to use you. because they don't know you. It's a contact sport. You have to contact people. If you don't, nothing's going to happen. But if you aren't doing anything, going on, cold call, open house, follow up with people. That's kind of the key stuff. But don't think it's the only way to do it, because there are many ways of doing it. No one's got a lockdown on contacting anyone or building a real estate business. There are, there's a woman downtown, Glenn McQueenie does an amazing course. If you've never taken it, you should take it, which is niche real estate marketing. It's like building a niche. You find a very small thing and you focus on it. It's amazing how that'll build a huge business for you. So there's a woman who does, building wealth for divorced women over 40 through real estate. She's a divorced woman over 40. She connects with these people. And, she's talks about investment property. She does seminars. She has experience with it. She takes busloads of people all over the place, and they buy real estate like mad. It's something that just appealed to her. And people have built their real estate markets on narrow niches. If something appeals to you, and you feel like it's something you can work at. It has to be pretty specific. But if you're ever interested, Glenn McQueenie is a genius. I think everything he says is pretty cool. And he does this course a few times a year on building your business through niche marketing. And it means, because this is a general revenue approach, right? This is just cold calling and door knocking. It's just putting it out there with you and everybody else. This is a general agency approach to real estate. It'll work. You'll make a business. Are there easier ways of doing it? Yeah, I think so. Door knocking, geographical farming. Is anyone here farming? Flyers?
Just do this. It makes door knocking easier.
It does. It does. So if you were going to flyer an area, door knock the same area. If you're going to door knock and flyer the area, cold call the same area. The statistics are solid that you get. It builds on the success of the one from the other to the next to the other. You're much more likely to get business from your flyer if you're cold calling you door knock the same street. Because that, if you just flyer, I think the odds are, the Trev results were, if you send out 1,000 flyers every 3 weeks for a year, you'll get one phone call. You could be in the bathroom. It's like, what are you going to do? It's because have you ever been in a condo when and you go to you're standing in front of the mail room and someone shows up and they get their mail. There's that recycle bin right next to the mail. It's like there goes 6 flyers straight into the recycle bin. What'd you get there? Not much. For sale by owners, it does work. I hate them. Open houses, it's a great way to meet people who are actively shopping for real estate. And I talked about how to stand out so that your opportunity for the leads you get are way better. In general, there's a whole other course on open houses. Have something to say about the house that they can't learn for 2 minutes on the internet themselves. It's not that hard. Dig up, dig. Sales representative referrals. So that's about getting business from other people outside of the area. And in Keller Williams, that's a whole other thing. Social media. People are good at it. Do it. I'm old. I suck at social media. I should just say I suck at social media. People who are old can be good at it too. I find that people are getting more savvy to social media. Those questions that people post. What are the favorite things about your neighborhood? People go, this guy's just fishing. Oh, it's true. I find people are very skeptical, and they're getting more skeptical all the time. So if you're going to do social media, be more, you can be fake, you can be genuine. I choose genuine. I'm doing an open house this weekend. It's right here. Oh my God, come see it. It's amazing. You can do that on social, right? You can do that. Door knocking. Geographical farming. Don't be pushy. Here we go. Come from contribution. Let people know what's happening in the area. Ask for business. Offer advice. It's also true. Also be available as a resource. That's the thing. If you knock on the door, if someone answers the door, you tell them who you are. You'll have about 4 seconds after that to judge how happy they are about that information that you're a realtor. First, they're happy that you're not a serial killer. Second, they're happy that you're not a Mormon or a Jehovah's Witness. And then after that, they're like, realtor. It's like for, maybe the serial killer might have appealed to them a bit more. You had a question?
So I just want to add something to the social media. Like I know you're saying like they have like fake questions. Sometimes like they do that just to get like more like view to the page, so that like when they post like actual real estate question, then like more people would like actually end up seeing it.
It works.
Yeah.
Almost anything you will do on Facebook that generates a conversation is great. If you don't want to burn through your entire friends list by pissing them all off and having flame wars. I find that everyone is hypersensitive to everything now on every level, and so it's really easy to become a social networking pariah. So I would just I would double down on genuine rather than top 10 ways to try to fool people into giving you their contact information on Facebook. It's like, that's my opinion. I've sent like 140 tweets in my life. I suck at it. Instagram, people use Instagram. Like it's a huge thing. I suck at it too. I used to have a YouTube channel. I don't anymore because I only got a YouTube here. This is my approach to the internet, which is. I have a website the same reason I have a business card, in that people would be surprised that I didn't have one, but they don't really care that I do. And so when you type in my name on the internet, all I'm hoping for is that my website shows up somewhere on the top page in Google. I'm not expecting to, that's the amount of money I spend on the internet. Some people, if you want to type in, Roncesvalles real estate agent, and you want your name to appear on that list, you can either generate it with money or you can generate it with a lot of active website stuff. That's a whole different thing. All I want is if someone meets me and wants to verify me on the internet, they type in my name, there I am. It's like a bona fide. That's my approach to it. And for a few years, there was this kid in New Zealand who made zombie movies named Adam Charlesworth, which is my name, and he began kicking my ass on the internet. It's like, damn it, this 13-year-old is removing me from the front to Google. So I had to start, that's why I did YouTube videos for a while until my Google juice came back up, and now I'm like, whatever. So I should get back into it. So providing market information when you door knock. It's critical. If you're gonna knock a street, know what's happened on it. Know the last sale that happened on the street. Know what happened a street over, because they're gonna ask you, oh yeah, actually we saw it. We were at the open house, 3 blocks from here. Uh-oh. Really? What did that sell for? I don't know. So have that information, have it ready, have it in your brain. Or if you're going to just do it, have the average sale price. Well, actually, in the last 6 months, the average sale price of semis in this neighborhood was $989,000. So I can get you the actual information from that listing. I'll send it to you later. So door knocking and geographical farming works. It absolutely does. For sale by owners will work. Contacting them. You want to lead. Normally, if you're chasing FSBOs, lead with contribution. They already hate real estate agents, which is why they're doing it for themselves. Also, the market is being so ridiculously hot that banging the for sale sign into the ground will sell the house. So you have to really say to them, I'm going to add value here. And they already hate you because they're skeptical of all real estate stuff at the start. I just find it, you can probably do better contacting almost anybody else. That's my opinion. But if you're going to go after them, say, hey, I have people looking in the neighborhood. I'd like to see your house, just so I have an understanding, because it's of what it looks like. So maybe I can bring my clients through. And when you're there, they let you in. That hey, I noticed you don't have any you don't have a spreadsheet here. You don't have any information. You don't have a pretty picture. You don't have a brochure. I'll pop one by. Do something nice for them. And when they fail to sell their house, they might call you. So there's scripts there. More scripts on FSBOs. In a flat market, in a different kind of marketplace than we've been in for the last 10 years, I think they're for sale by owners are an easier thing to chase. But right now, I don't know. That's a tough market. Open houses. So open houses represent your first and easiest public opportunity to do the job of a professional real estate agent. Positioning yourself as the local expert and offering you the services to the following people. Buyers who are selling, sellers. It's all very true, so other sales representatives. you really have to be ready for your open house, which means, know what's sold nearby. And be ready, because a lot of people are pretending to be buyers when they are not. They're sellers. But they're checking you out. They want to know the job that you're doing, because they're thinking about selling, and they're curious about what the house is going to sell for, but they're also curious about you and the job that you're doing. Don't turn the TV on. Never. Be proactive. My favorite question when someone comes to an open house is, how long have you been looking? They say, we just started. Close the door and lock it. Don't let anyone else in. Sit them down. Because they don't have an agent yet. It's a miracle moment. Like 6 months. Oh, yeah, you probably have 12 agents. So get purposeful with the open houses. There you go. I think I talked about that earlier. Listings, get the open house. You don't have one of your own, get someone else's. If they're doing one, do one on the Friday night. Do one in the evening. That's important. Door knock around the open houses, very important. Invite your friends and family. Make sure people know that you're doing something real estate. If it's new, if you're doing it for the first time or you're new, that's all important. Face-to-face visitors, ask for referrals, get appointments, talk, build rapport. Really, you want to talk or build rapport with people. Make sure that you're adding these people to your database. It's really not rocket science with open houses. Although I got to tell you, I suck at them. I really do. I'm focused on selling the property more than I am about getting the clients. That's my job. There's a guy here is John Cameron still here?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah. His entire business is open houses. Every single transaction he's ever done has come from someone who's met at an open house. I just go to his open house and see what he does. If that open house is busy, one of the things he does, and they're all in the spring, open houses are busy. They are. And the thing only takes one person to buy the house, but there's 120 people there. And John Cameron has a thing where he's standing there amongst all these people, and he's like, does anybody want to win this house? Is anybody here right now interested in buying this house? Come talk to me. One of the things he does. And people do. I don't know why, but. So, other sales representatives. So this is where you get a referral from another agent. Sometimes you have to pay a referral fee for that, not always. If someone has, too many, like if I have a listing and I'm holding back on offers, I don't want to represent the buyer and the seller at the same time. I don't. That's not what I do. I will do one, I'll not do the other. And so when that happens, I need to have someone else. If someone calls me and says, I want to buy the house, I don't have an agent, it's like, well, I can't help you with that because I'm committed to the seller. Call this guy. He'll help you. You want to be that name. You want to be in that list. You want to be the person that I'm thinking about to, help buy that. And that's about making connections with other sales representatives in your brokerage, in your area. That happened to me this year. I sold a house on Wallace. And a guy called me up and said, on the day of the offer day, said, yeah, I was through the open house. I don't have an agent. I'd like to make an offer on the house. Great, I want to use you. I said, sorry, you can't. What? I said, sorry, you can't. I'm representing the seller. He was a little mystified by this thing. So I wouldn't put it in an offer. It's like, it's 5 o'clock. Offers are at 7:30. Sorry, should have mentioned perhaps before, 5:30, before the 7 o'clock offer deadline. But I said, here's a list of 3 agents who work in the neighborhood, not, who are, I know, not bringing offers in on this property tonight. Why don't you call them? That guy picked it up, Paul King. He's here, I think, still. He was one of the people that I listed 3 people, and this person called that person, and they put in an offer. They didn't get it, strangely enough, but Paul picked him up as a client, and they bought a property a month later. Paul paid me a referral. So some people want all the business all the time. I'm not so much of that. Like, this is something. I was fine with that. Social media. The way to engage with quality database is through social media. Okay. If you're good at it, do it. Facebook. I'm not going to read this stuff about Facebook. Post about your neighborhood. Okay. Use images. Post about events. Congratulate new homeowners. Engage with polls or surveys. This is beginning to tire people out. Post your listings. Yes, post your listings. You should have a business page. That's my opinion. Post your listings there. You know, when you're new, just post your personal life stuff and your business stuff, but after a while, people get tired of you constantly posting on your personal page about your work. And then they'll block you. Okay, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah. Okay, do all the stuff about Twitter. I can't comment on Twitter. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, and the crazy part is my Twitter handle is GTA Home Sales, which is a pretty good Twitter handle. I've had it for years. People post to it. It's like, wow, what's going on in the market at GTA Home Sales? And I'll reply. I know. It's me. I'm GTA Home Sales. It's like, hey. Yeah, I'm the wrong person to talk about Twitter. I have nothing I can contribute personally about Twitter. So this, I'm sure, is all valuable information. Do what they say here. Tweet questions. Tweet about your listings. Tweet tips about staging and moving. Tweet local news. Tweet charity events. Use hashtags. Use that mentions. Great plan. Pinterest. Yeah, again, same stuff. If you are running around the city looking at houses, you can, you know, you can take pictures of houses. You can post things about them. People like that. People will, anything that can start a conversation, great, do it. That's what it's about. I don't, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I think this is all valuable. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like a business card. The people who search me up on LinkedIn are people I've met who want to verify I'm a real estate agent. Really, that's what LinkedIn is for me. I have thousands of contacts. Most of them are realtors, home inspectors, mortgage agents. You know, I kind of network with them. I post stuff for them. I don't post stuff for random clients on LinkedIn. But that's me. That's my approach to LinkedIn. But some people will refuse to accept a real estate invitation into their LinkedIn profile. Like they only have contacts with people who do that. But my LinkedIn approach is I just use it for professional networking. That's all I use LinkedIn for. But people will search for me on LinkedIn to verify that I am who I say I am. You know, it's the second most common thing to search. To say that, you know, to make sure that you're not just some, you know, crazy dude on the street saying real estate, real estate, real estate. YouTube videos really work. Keep them short. Make sure the sound is good. Nothing turns off people like bad sound. You can be a genius and say genius things, but if it sounds like you're speaking through a hollow tube, they're gonna spend 5 seconds. It's like the next is good lighting, but the sound is really critical. I have I have wireless mics, and when I did videos, that was all that really, you know, I sounded like a klutz, but at least it was clear. It's key. Blogs. If you have the time, make them long. So there's the internet and Google has they have natural algorithms to determine how valid your website is. And blogs add Google juice to your website. But in the old days, you could just type real estate 1,000 times and that would add Google juice to your website. It no longer does. It doesn't act, in fact, it minuses the Google juice from your website. And blogs have to be at least 1,000 words to add value to your website in terms, or regularly over 500 words. And this is only, and Google keeps it a secret now because every time they revealed what it was that generated the real Google juice, people would find a way to game it. And so now they don't actually tell anyone exactly how it works, but the people who pay attention have noticed that regular blogging over 500 words a day will help, or weekly blogs over 1,000 words will help. Don't repeat the same words all the time, but make sure to talk about real estate in your blog. It will generate, it'll help drive people to your website if you are trying to do that. Community websites. I live in the Junction Triangle. There's a Junction Triangle community website. It's very busy. They specifically prohibit business postings. So if you do too many of those, you will be removed from your community website. A lot of community websites turn into buy and sells after a while. So I don't know how effective they are. So you have to be particularly sneaky if you're going to post to them. So this is the whole thing about your plan to use social media this weekend. Go plan something. Go do something clever. I'm not going to figure out what that is because I really feel I can't genuinely talk to it. But you should, if you're planning on doing social media stuff, think about what would be good and then follow up. If you are going to do an open house, mention it. Why not? If there's some real estate news that's topical, talk about it. Have an opinion. Great. You know, interest rates going up, interest rates going down, new mortgage rules, you know, the latest information from sales data. You know, post about something like that. I find that posting about, you know, real estate will generally bring you more closely to, you know, to the people in your sphere who are interested about real estate. Okay, become a lead generating machine. My fear of failure was greater than my fear of lead generating. Gary Keller. I think, you know, this is repeating the mantra again. You know, make a commitment to prospecting, faithfully time block, do your 3 hours of lead generation every day, and your business will succeed. Your business will succeed with 1 hour. It will. You know, our research confirms that many real estate sales representatives experience fear or anxiety about making contact with other people, particularly people they don't know. In fact, most sales representatives would confess it was hard. Yeah, sure. Simple, not easy. Successful sales representatives just found ways to quickly get beyond their reluctance and get comfortable with the call. Their end goal was more important than fear. It takes purposeful practice over time to grow in any area. What a surprise. It's totally true. There's a guy in the States who was terrified of rejection. It nearly ruined his life. He was an Asian dude, parents of, you know, driven tiger parents, and he was like, and he always wanted to do something, and he never felt confident enough in his own ability. He ended up doing shit that he didn't want in his life for a long time, and it was because he was terrified of rejection. And so he had a game-changing moment in his life, and he said, I am deliberately going to go get rejected. That was his plan. He's going to seek out rejection. I'm going to get rejected every day. I'm going to purposely go ask someone some crazy-ass thing and get rejected. He realized that he was ruining his life because he was so terrified of being rejected. Then he would film himself doing it. And something like on day 8, he had this idea, and he went into a Krispy Kreme. And he went up to the counter and he said, hey, you know what I really want? So I want Olympic donuts. You know, I have like 5 donuts that are linked together with the colors on them. You ever heard this guy? And the girl at the counter, instead of going, just order some donuts, pal. Well, no. Let me just go talk to the baker. Okay. She went in the back, talked to the baker, said, yeah, we can do it. Give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, out came Olympic goddamn donuts. Linked together, 5 little donut rings with colors on them. He filmed the whole thing because he was filming himself doing this torturous event. He put it on YouTube. It went viral. He was on Oprah Winfrey. It was just like she was like the sales clerk was on Oprah Winfrey. And his book, which is called Rejection Proof, is magnificent. Like if you think you have a fear of failure or a fear of rejection, this guy through the roof. And he conquered it, and he's changed his life. And you know, it's crazy, but everyone is scared. Everyone doesn't want to do it. But you have to, if you're going to make a change in your life, you have to change what you're doing right now. Get out of your comfort zone. Go do something else. Okay, putting it all together. Action plan. And I didn't ask enough questions. Continue to add contacts to your database. Develop methods for prospecting, whatever you feel that you can do. Focus your energy on those things more than the things you are just like so terrified about doing. Do something you're slightly less terrified about doing. I feel like we spend a lot of time overemphasizing something that you don't want to do, and then you could be doing something else that will generate a result. Maybe you should do that instead. Like if you're never going to door knock and you're terrified of door knocking, you go door knock and it takes you like a week to get ready, and you go door knock and you door knock for 45 minutes and you're like, you sweat the whole time, you never get a single contact, you think, why am I doing this? That's not going to lead to success probably as much as doing something else. You ever heard of like the story of like this little kid, Rudy, the football player? He was like a little kid, he wanted to be like a football player, he was just like this little kid. And he trained really hard, like finally he gets a chance. Really? You should have done anything else besides play football. You're a little kid. What are you doing? Like you're just not built for football. you're overemphasizing the thing that you're not good at. Focus on something you are good at instead. Like you would have been way better at badminton or anything else. Like put all some time and energy in something that's going to get a better result. But do something. So put your 3-3 time blocking into action. Prepare for the next class. Download the pre-work mission. That's the stuff. So the business is out there. You know, last year there were 78,000 transactions in the city of Toronto. 78,000 transactions. It's not rocket science. It's simple. It's not easy. Have to meet people. Figure out how to do it. Figure out something that feels genuine to you. Do it. If you can't, it's not going to happen. Straightforward. Like nothing is going to change in your life unless you make some changes. There's no magic wand here. And you can spend a fortune, you know, if you listen to the magic bean sellers who will call you. You know, I get calls from them all the time. It's like, we've got leads for you. Just give us money. Some of it works. Give them money. You'll get some leads. But the conversion is low. Like it's low. You know, if you're willing to spend 4 hours a day calling leads that are going to convert at 1 to 2%, and it's going to cost you $1,000 a week to get those leads, why not just call? Why not just call? Just go out and call on your own. That's the deal. So mission 4 is on Monday. You're going to be ready for that. You're going to do your role play calls. You're going to do your cold calling. You're going to do whatever it is you do this weekend. Is anyone doing an open house this weekend? One.
We will Saturday, Sunday.
Excellent. Anyone else? Why not? You're so busy. You've
No need, I'm saying.
Go get an open house. Call every agent who's got an open house, has got a listing in your brokerage today. Go call them today and say, hey, and even if they are doing an open house and you don't have everything else, say, hey, can I come to your open house? Can I see what you do? Do it. And then next week, on Monday or Tuesday, call the agents who have listings and say, are you going to do an open house next weekend? And ask to do the open house. And if they say, I'm doing the open house, ask them if you can do a Friday night open house or a Thursday night open house. Do a 5 to 7, do an after work open house. And then cold call it, then door knock around it. So, the benefits of prospecting, well, we all know them. You're going to build your business, you're going to build your leads, you're going to build if you consistently prospect, you will consistently get leads. Consistent leads will convert over time to consistent business. The 4 C's of prospecting. Oh, there's so many. Sometimes the jargon and jingoism and Keller Williams gets me down. 10-4, 4-2, fine, 10-4 STS. Well, come on. Let's let it go. Time blocking with a 3x3, why it's important. I think you know why it's important. Ideas for posting to a social media website. Does anyone have something they want to share? Do I suck at it?
There's a lady that has walkthrough Wednesdays. I think does a good job.
Walkthrough Wednesdays.
Yeah. She does a walkthrough. She'll advertise the day before. So she didn't do a walkthrough on the day on Wednesday. And she'll just do a quick walkthrough of a home that she has listed.
That's kind of fun. I've seen people do a caravan where they're like in a neighborhood. I'm gonna go to see these 10 homes in Bloor West Village. They're on the market. If I get enough people, I'll rent a van. We'll all go together. Condos. Any condo building is always listings. You can reach. It's like today I'm making an appointment to see every unit that's on sale at 103, 105 to Queensway. I'm going to go. We'd like to come along. We can all go together. You're not allowed to buy. Why not? How many new contacts in your KW database? Any database by the end of Ignite. You're supposed to add what? 5 a day, 10 a day? How are we doing with that?
10 3 times a week.
10 3 times, so 30 a week.
Right.
Anybody? Anybody meeting those numbers? Didn't think so.
How do you get that contact? Is it somebody? So I missed the first session. So.
Oh, so you only have to do 20. A contact is you from someone you didn't know.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
It now knows that you're a real estate agent and you have the ability to contact them again. That's a contact. So like I meet someone in an elevator and they can be talking about real estate and I give them my card, that doesn't count as a contact. I don't know who they are. I'm never going to meet them again. My card's going in the garbage. I have a very nice card. It might not go in the garbage. But that's not a contact. Is you have got their information. You've had a discussion about real estate, and you've got it. That's a contact.
So a copy from telelisting, you have their address, you have their phone number,
Yeah.
you've had a conversation,
Yeah.
you have it to your database.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have an email. Like some people will give you an email and they don't still want to know who are you? I'm not telling you where I live. Great, an email is still an information, a way to connect with them. A cell phone number, a contact. That for me is even if it's a business number, whatever, a way to communicate with them again. Their name, the fact that you talked about real estate, that's a contact. And you need at least 30 a week. Slackers. Slackers. And I think because we hold up this 3 hours, right? Oh my God, 3 hours, I can't do it. Do it for 5 minutes. Do it till you get one contact. That's one more than you had last week. Get one. It's better than none. Have some negative experiences, have some positive experiences. When you get those positive experiences, they help you.
It asks throughout the coursework there for aha moments.
Yes?
And one came to mind as you just said that, which the Property Brothers mentioned actually.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like to judge your lead gen annually as opposed to daily. Like, oh, today was shite. But it's like, oh, if you look back on the year and you added only 50, it's still 50 more.
It's not just success every day. It's every day. It's like if you try every day, it's a success. And that's why I like that video. It's a very true statement.
Yeah.
So, don't be overwhelmed. It's easy to be overwhelmed. There's lots of stuff going on at the start of your career. Do something. Get an open house. Do 10 minutes of door knocking. Talk to a neighbor. Do anything. You will find that it's easy to build on those small successes rather than hold up the, oh my God, I've got to prepare and then call in 3 hours a day. Yeah, if you do that, great. You're going to be great. But the reality is most of us don't. Most of us already have something that we're doing with our life. And you have to squeak in this other stuff. That's hard. But don't do nothing. Any other ahas from today? Please come on, one.
I'm just surprised, I'm still boggled with that 70,000 to 1.1 million in 1 thing.
Yeah, 2 years. 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Commitment. 3 hours of cold calling a day is commitment. And they did it. Now, they have a team, so some of that money was deferred to the team. But, hello? Okay. Dialers, change your behavior, accountability partners. We didn't talk about that. I must have skipped that. If you have someone who's, in your life who is keeping you accountable, great. If you don't, get one. And when that person calls you and you see them on the phone, that number on your phone, and you're like, shit, I haven't done my calls. I haven't added my contacts. And you feel bad about it, that's an accountability partner. If it's someone you can blow off, they're not a real accountability partner. So this weekend, do something. Do anything. You'll find it's better than nothing. And eventually, those habits that you create and those small successes about doing something new in your business will really, end up you becoming a real estate agent. That's the deal. Any questions about anything today? Okay. We're all done.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
It's really hot in here. I have a handout.